What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And this one I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down some big news involving the markets for next week, as you have major catalysts coming out, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link. If you deposit any amount of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. Deposit $25,000 more, you're guaranteed 75. The offer ends very soon in just about 4 weeks from now. So check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's talk about Tesla. So Tesla's doing a good job at holding up as the whole market came back up. We got some good news that came out that helped the market push. And then I'm also going to mention that we have the robotaxi event coming up for next week. It's going to be very important for Tesla and its investors. I think Tesla may pop and push approaching the big event. So I'll talk more about this in just a minute. Why did the market pop? As a reminder of this news that came out yesterday night, the port strikes have ended as workers have agreed to a tentative deal on wages and contract extensions. So basically, both sides have extended their contracts, and that's providing time until about January 15th for them to negotiate another contract after that. This is ending the strikes that happened in the East and Gulf coasts since the beginning of the week, and that's great news, at least for us moving forward. So, a very, very awesome piece of news, at least for the broader markets. Can't wait to see what else the future holds. But I just want to say that that's why the market saw this very, very nice looking pump. On top of that, we got some unemployment numbers. Just in a nutshell, the numbers are being reported as being below expectations for unemployment. Remember, these numbers could be revised and be completely different, but this is what the data is telling us for now. And as investors, we just have to accept it and look at how the market's looking at this. So unemployment was below expectations. Non-farm payrolls was once again above expectations, which is good. Everything was good for the markets. The market liked this. This is why we pumped. And the question now is what's going to happen from here on out. So for the Tesla investors out there, remember on October 10th, we have the notorious robotaxi event where Tesla's going to be announcing the new products. They're going to be talking about what they have on the agenda, at least moving forward. I'll be watching to see what their cyber cap may end up looking like. This is going to be a major catalyst for Tesla. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla tries to rally as we approach October 10th. There's a very, very good chance that that's going to end up happening. So that's going to be very useful for Tesla. Can't wait to see what they end up announcing. And it's going to be very, very key for us. For events about the markets, I just want to mention that for Monday, for the whole market, we have very minor data. We just have a couple of bill auctions and a bunch of Fed speakers like Kashkari, Bowman, and Bostic. For Tuesday, excuse me, guys, I apologize. For Tuesday, we have some optimism index reports for business optimism and economic optimism. Then we have a bunch of Fed speakers that's all very minor as well. For Wednesday, most of the data is minor. We just have a couple of Fed speakers, but then this is when the data starts to get serious. At 2 p.m., we have the FOMC minutes coming out. It's not the FOMC meeting, just a report of the meeting. So it's just the minutes that's going to be released. That's going to be very important. For Thursday, we have CPI data coming out. That's going to be huge for the Fed's policies. And then for Friday, we have PPI data coming out. So Wednesday through Friday are going to be very heavy for the data side. Monday and Tuesday are going to be a little bit less serious. And then on top of this, we also have the earnings coming out for the week. Monday through Thursday are going to be very, very minor. We just have a few, such as like Domino's Pizza and a few like that. But then Friday becomes very serious, as well as we have JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and BlackRock affecting the market. So, as a reminder for the markets, Monday and Tuesday are going to be very quiet days, very minor earnings, very, very quiet pieces of data. Wednesday through Friday become more serious for data. Thursday is when Tesla has its robotaxi event, so be ready for that. And then Friday is when we have those very, very important big bank earnings. So that's what's on in store for the calendar for next week. We have a lot of things coming out, especially Tesla's big event. So I can't wait to see how things end up looking. There's one more catalyst that is involving like Israel and geopolitics right now. Things are very, very serious, but we're waiting to see what Israel's about to do. We don't know for sure. That's why I don't want to make any assumptions. The whole situation goes back many years. I'm not really here to pick sides, but I just want to say that Joe Biden has come out. He has signaled opposition towards possible Israeli strikes on Iranian's oil facilities, excuse me. From the way I see things, I think that I just don't want to make assumptions until we see what they do. We'll see if they do an attack or not, if they do strike back, if whatever happens, but we have to wait and see before we make any assumptions. So as long as they don't do anything, the market's going to be fine. And if they do something, we'll see how that affects oil, if they do end up striking these facilities or not. So we'll just have to wait. Besides that, the market's still very greedy. It's approaching extreme greed. Momentum indicators are at greed. And we're seeing the put and call option ratio still going up a bit. So this went up a little bit because we saw some buyers stepping in. the buyers returned, and once again they started to buy up those puts. Despite that, that's why the market ended up seeing a little bit of a squeeze today. And I think the market has potential to try to squeeze even more. I don't think we're done quite yet with the move. The VIX is also in a very, very neutral place. So, what do I see for the markets? My view is very simple. Tesla's looking more bullish. It looks like it wants to push higher. As long as we don't lose 247, we favor a big push for next week, all the way up to at least 256. And also, when you zoom out like this, we have a nice inverse head and shoulders like structure. The full measured move could take us all the way up towards 270. So I think Tesla has potential to pump all the way back up there by next week, especially especially as we approach the robotaxi event. For SPY is looking more bullish on the 4 hour. It's trying to push higher. As long as we don't lose 568, we favor upside, and it looks like it wants to approach these all-time highs. But remember, guys, my view of the market is the same. I believe that as we approach the end of October, maybe even early November, the market's going to see some major downside. I think most likely approaching the election is going to be a big amount of volatility and tensions involving politics. So I think the uncertainty is going to lead to the market dumping by the end of October. We're not there yet. The market could try to push higher this week. That's very important because the market's just setting itself up for a big dump for the end of the month. That's what my view still is. My view has not changed. This is still normal. They could try to hold the market up a little bit longer. But nonetheless, the market should be dumping approaching the end of October, even in early November. But then we should be making a nice recovery after that. So we could push higher, we could consolidate for a bit, but there's going to be a dump coming later on. For now, we could be approaching all-time highs, and we'll see how things go. I'll talk more about my views maybe in another video. For ES, we look bullish. We could be approaching 5,800. We could even try to break all-time highs for a little bit of a push next week. The market flipped bullish after we got the unemployment numbers, and the chart looks like it wants to push more. We could approach all-time highs, but my view is the same. We're still setting ourselves up for a big end of October dump. We're not ready yet. We're not at the end of October, so the market could continue to push for the time being. For Nvda, we could attempt to push higher for this 126, 127 area. Could try to squeeze up to those highs, if not closer to 130, where we have tough resistance. But then after that, we'll see how things go with all of this volatility. I also believe that Bitcoin could try to get back up to 62,500. If that breaks, this imbalance will take us up to 63,800 for a temporary push. This is just temporary, so it's not a guarantee forever. And just know that regardless of what happens, it's very important to be open-minded. NQ looks more bullish and wants to go up to about 20,300. We'll see if we surpass this resistance. If it breaks that, we're looking for higher levels all the way up here. Now, just know there's going to be some tough resistance coming, so we'll see how NQ ends up reacting. But so far, it has some more upside potential. We're forming a nice looking wedge-like structure, which is leading to upside. This could easily start pushing back up to these highs, but I'm not necessarily a perma bull. For now, we look bullish, but I think that we're still setting us up. We're setting ourselves up for a big dump that's coming by the end of October. So look for the 20,300s very soon. For the QQQ, we have upside potential if we break this resistance at 488. We're looking for basically the 490s. We'll see if we reject or not, but there is upside potential. So watch and see how this ends up going as we have a double bottom. The 490s are likely coming, especially as we have this gap to fill, so we'll see how it goes. We'll look for more upside and we'll see how things react as time goes on. For Apple in the 4 hours looking more bullish. If we manage to break 226.7, we're looking for a bigger pump all the way up towards this 228 area, followed by the 230s. So we could push higher, but then we'll see if we get some kind of rejection or not. Apple could pump for the timing, but then watch and see if something happens moving forward, especially as we approach the end of October. For the IWM, we look more bullish as we have this imbalance up here. This could take us to about 220.8 and eventually 222. I think we could be pushing higher for these resistance levels, but then we'll see what the reaction is as we remain bullish. So we're bullish for now, but approaching the end of October, I'm still more bearish. I'm going to be kind of quick with the rest of these. Coin could be approaching the next imbalance, but we have to hold above 168. If we could hold above 168 and 170, we're looking for a pump back up towards 175. And we'll see what the reaction happens to be after that. For Amazon, we look more bullish. If we could try to hold above 185, we're looking for, 186.4. If we hold above that, we're looking for basically 188. This has more upside potential as well, but we'll see what the reaction happens to be. Meta looks more bullish. We're trying to push up towards 600. If 600 could break, I think we're going to be testing 600. We'll see how we react to that. My view is the same, though. Even if we do push higher, we're going to be looking for a dump towards the end of October. Microsoft is still looking kind of bearish. We need to see if we could try to bounce off this 414 area or not. If we don't do that, we could be dumping to 409. So it still looks kind of bearish. We will see if we could hold support. Google is looking a little bit more bullish. We could be trying to push up for this 170 plus area. I see potential in this. So we will see how it goes. But so far, so good, at least from the markets. With that being said, I just want to say I really appreciate you guys so much for listening. I think we're doing a good job so far at trying to hold up, but just know that my view is that the market could try to pump for another week, could try to hold up. But as we approach the end of October, there could be downside coming. I still have that same view. For Tesla, we're not really worried about the end of October. What matters now is going to be the robotaxi event. That could help Tesla outperform the market even through the end of October if they do really well. If not, it is what it is. But I still think that Tesla's going to try to push for this imbalance fill into the 250s and potentially all the way up to 270 as we approach the robotaxi event. I see upside for potential for Tesla. I think this thing is going to try to rally. So get ready for a lot of buyers to step in and good volatility. So look for upside for this coming week for Tesla approaching the robotaxi event. With that being said, guys, I'll give you guys more views about what I see for the markets tomorrow. Until then, have a great weekend and peace out.